Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your tofu-free Bible study. Apologies to all my friends out there who like tofu. No barbecue tofu here. This is your Bible Bistro. We have a lot of things on the menu here at the Bible Bistro, but tofu is not one of them. Today we're looking at Psalm 9. We're in the second half this week of Psalm 9. So if you have a moment and you would like to join me, just open your Bible up. We started yesterday in verses 11 and 12. Today we're going to look at verses 13 and 14. So let me read those for you. Be gracious to me, O Lord. Look upon my affliction because of those that hate me. O you who raises me up from the gates of death, in order that I may recount all your praise. In the gates of the daughter of Zion, I will rejoice in your salvation. That's verses 13 and 14. Today we see a prayer pop up here, don't we? This verse 13 comes right at us as a prayer. And notice that this is a prayer that any one of us could pray. You know, I was thinking as I was preparing for today's episode, I'd probably say that way too often, but it's true. Maybe not too often, but maybe I just say it a lot. It seems like these prayers that David prays are simple, direct prayers that any single one of us could pray and probably have at some time or another, or maybe should. So, be gracious to me, O Lord. Now, he's been saying, that he's been telling us about the wicked in the previous part, the first part of Psalm 9. We're going to see more about the wicked this week. And then next week in Psalm 10, which is the second half of this two-part psalm, we're going to have more about the wicked. Actually, we have the dictionary definition of the wicked man in Psalm 10. But today we're having David's prayer. Be gracious to me, O Lord. Look upon my affliction because of those that hate me. So the wicked man is persecuting the righteous, the afflicted. He's persecuting the downtrodden. He's persecuting the poor man. And David counts himself as one of those. And so now he says, my affliction because of those that hate me. And of course, looking into David's life, we would say, well, who is it that hates David? Well, Saul hates David vehemently. Absalom plots against David. And that other fellow whose name I just can never remember, who also plotted against David after Absalom. Of course, Joab is also another. He doesn't respect David at all. He's a wicked man. He's a bloody man. These people are probably those that David maybe has in mind as he writes this. Be gracious to me. Look upon my affliction because of those that hate me. So there are those that hate David. But then notice this lovely parallelism that comes in here. O you who raises me up from the gates of death. So, be gracious to me, O Lord, O you who raises me up from the gates of death. And then the first part of 14 follows hard on after that, in order that I may recount all your praise. So David says, be gracious, raise me up. In doing so, I will recount all of your praise. And of course, we would say the same thing, wouldn't we? We would say, Lord, be gracious to me. And once you've raised me up from the grave, once you've raised me up from the bed of affliction, once you've raised me up from the trouble that I'm in, I will be able to recount all of your praise because I will tell everybody exactly what you did. In the gates, and notice here he comes, he's marching out to the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in your salvation. So that's where he's going to recount the praise, in the gates. So he goes out to the gates of the daughter of Zion and he says, I will rejoice in your salvation, right there in front of everybody. He's not ashamed. He's going to tell the world. He's going to tell his entire city. And anybody who comes and goes through those gates during the course of the day, there is David, the psalmist, and he's telling everyone how the Lord has redeemed him. You know, one of the great disciplines of prayer is not only praying, but it is also recounting to others how the Lord answered your prayer. Maybe you should enjoy that as well as asking. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. We'll look at verses 15 and 16 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.